What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is game number 4 here between Loner and TyLooJim. This time we are here on the Shattered Temple. Loner spawning in the 12 o'clock spawn location as our blue Terran player, and then over here in the 3 o'clock TyLooJim, the red Protoss. Once more, we are here on Shattered Temple, game number 4. Loner is ahead 2-1 against TyLooJim, winning last game. He opened up very greedy, going with a 15 command center. Was able to defend his base, though, against a 4-gate response from TyLooJim with the help of some SCV mass repair on a bunker. And then after that, we saw TyLooJim work up into a 6-gate and try again to push against the greedy Loner. But unfortunately, once more, with the help of some SCVs, some repair action, and using them to engage as well, Loner was able to defend, and then that counterattack, unfortunately, forced TyLooJim to call the GG. So hopefully TyLooJim is able to get himself back in this series now. If he does lose this game here, then that is going to be it. We will be seeing the series go to Loner, so TyLooJim will need to pull something out and try to get a victory here. Now dropping down his gateway, there it is. And moving out to get some scouting intel. See if he moves his way down here to bottom 6 o'clock spot first, or if he's going to actually be moving up. Oh, it looks like he will be moving right up to Loner's base, and he will actually be able to do a little harass with this, as the probe's going to get there in time to be able to get a couple shots off on that SCV, and this is going to force Loner to respond by pulling an SCV off the line. Now Loner is coming out with a refinery, so everything looking pretty standard so far. SCV Scout also moving out at the moment. He will be passing the Probe Scout and actually goes forward to engage him, getting a shot or two off. Probe now moving in, getting some scouting intel and just spotting the refinery and everything else. And once more, like I stated, everything's looking pretty standard here so far from Loner. Nothing really unorthodox in terms of those timings. Everything's looking pretty clean. Now it's going to be this point forward where we're going to really start to see whether or not Loner is going to switch things up a bit. Still got the 3 guys here mining from that refinery. Hasn't pulled anyone off yet. So I'm actually expecting a factory to come out now. After this first Marine finishes, should have enough SB to be able to do so. Probe now moving in for some secondary scouting intel. And unfortunately doesn't catch much. We actually have a second. Ooh, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Coming out of the reactor and a second barracks. So mixing it up a bit. Back over here, Loner scouting out TyLooJim, looking to be standard himself right now. Coming out with a second assimilator. Cybernex core coming out as well. Not even bothering getting that Zealot early game. He is just going to be going straight into Stalker as soon as he can. And there it is. Actually, Stalker is coming out, as well as that Warp Gate research. TyLooJim still not doing anything besides that. We'll have to wait another moment or two to see if he has anything else planned. Pulling guys off the gas as well. Loner finally deciding, you know what, just one guy on the refinery is going to do it. He will be sitting Marine heavy early on. Now, this is a pretty interesting build here from Loner. I will be very interested to see what his intentions are, what his plans are at this point. Obviously, Mass Marine in the early stage of the game. Here comes a Tech Lab. Ooh, 2 racks expand. Is that what this is going to be? I haven't actually seen this in a while. This was a favorite build of mine for quite a while, opening up 2 racks expand with some early pressure against your Protoss opponent to help you get out that expansion nice and safely. But we do have a response over here of some 1-base play here from TyLooJim. TyLooJim not going 1-gate expand, instead actually coming out that robotics, getting a 2nd gateway, and we could very well see a 3rd gateway as well. All sorts of opportunities. I want to say that we may be seeing actually some War Prism Zealot bombing here from TyLooJim. That would certainly be interesting indeed. He's moving down with his other probe. Oh, no, just another pylon. Was waiting to see if there was going to be a 3rd gateway, but yes, Loner is expected right now to be going 2 racks expand. That's pretty much the given right now with what he has for that open, and there it is. Right now that expansion is coming out. Now the bio will be moving out and doing something. If it's just map control, whatever, he could also try to move out and get a little bit harassed. Now SCV Scout making it up into the main. Now there's an observer coming out. It is not a War Prism, but Loner making his way into the main is going to scout out, well, just the fact that everything that we see, 2 gateways and a robo, and that is it. That is all he's got going on at the moment. Bio in the middle of the map here for Loner. Loner moving back after he gets himself some map control, deciding not to push out early on, and will just be defending himself with this 2 racks worth of units. We've got that Immortal coming out. Still on 1 base, though. TyLooJim has not made that decision to move into that expansion quite yet. There we go. Finally decided to move on down there, as we can see here. The expansion for Loner getting very close to finish. We do have a bunker coming out. Some Immortals coming out here for TyLooJim. Going to allow him to do quite a bit of damage to those Marauders, and if he decides to push against this bunker here as well. We do have some upgrades coming out here for Loner as he works his way up into combat shields. He has already done those concussive shells there for the Marauders. And again, the expansion is coming out over here for TyLooJim, and as well as those Immortals. Still just on those 2 gateways though. So at the moment, really not a whole lot of action from either player. Some nice scouting going on over here for TyLooJim, and he's pretty certain, obviously, of what he's up against. That third Arax now finally coming out here for Loner. But just bio, that is all Loner has got, and trying to mix in some upgrades as well. Now he's coming out with that Reaper. With that, he will be able to get some scouting information here as he makes that Reaper into the main base of TyLooJim. And TyLooJim still even hasn't worked up to a 3rd warp gate yet, still just on those 2. He's just pretty content with that at the moment. There we go, finally coming out with that. Reaper making its way across now for Loner. We'll be trying to work into that main base. Unfortunately, that does get scouted by the Observer. That will allow TyLooJim to respond and quickly snipe that out before he gets really any more intel than he already had. He already scouted these 3 buildings out here with that SCV scout that he initially moved in with. So that Reaper, unfortunately, wasn't able to get much information there for Loner at all. Still no stim pack, although it is researching at the moment. Factory is also coming out here for our buddy Loner. And with that, of course, he will be able to work his way up into that starport tech. And with those starports, obviously, he's able to get himself some lovely medevacs. That's what we're going to be expecting here from Loner as he works his way up into medevacs, gets that higher tech. It will allow him to do some dropping. But, again, no action going on here for either player. Pretty passive game thus far. Just a whole bunch of scouting, basically. That's been more or less it. Another 2 gateways coming out here for TyLooJim. We'll be sitting at that point on 5 gateways once those do finish. TyLooJim still in the main with that Observer Scout. Loner actually spreading out his bio just a little bit. And here comes a push here from TyLooJim. TyLooJim making his way across the map right now. Sitting very Immortal heavy. He's got 4 in play already, and number 5 is coming out. Pretty interesting timing push here. Would be very interested to see how much damage he's able to do. Now, he does have quite a bit of sentries. 6, in fact, to be exact. And with those 6 sentries, will allow for quite a hefty amount of force field walling, and that's what we're certainly going to expect to see. And the fact that he is coming out with no assimilators at that expansion already 10 minutes into the game, we're expecting a very strong push from him right now, just using this gateway tech, plus those Immortals, and here it comes. Proxy Pylon getting dropped over here. Observer Scout spotting where all of Loner's forces are and what they are. Now, my concern for TyLooJim in this push is the fact that he is about to walk into some stim pack action here. Loner almost finished with that stim research. Guardian Shield coming in, though, just before stim finishes. Here come those force fields. Immortals going straight for those bunkers. Stim now up and activated. And Loner with that stim pack forcing back TyLooJim at the moment. He's got some vision of the high ground, though, and that's allowing him to do quite a bit of damage. Marines moving forward. Oh, no, force field wall on those Zealots to catch up. That's a problem. Those Marines just took some hefty damage. These Immortals, again, doing what they can to target fire down those bunkers as well as those Marauders. And TyLooJim taking out most of the bio here for Loner, forced to come down with some SCVs and try to help in this engagement, but he is taking such heavy losses, and those Marines and SCVs finally overwhelmed, and Loner calling the GG. TyLooJim pushed out around the 11-minute mark, and with some beautifully placed force fields, he was able to split the army of Loner. And even though Loner had stim pack, it was just not enough to deal with this very strong a push. Those Immortals being so effective here, target firing down those Marauders as well as those bunkers. And again, plus those force fields really sets TyLooJim in a beautiful position. So there you go, guys. That was game number 4 here. We are tied up 2-2, and that's going to bring us into game 5. The 5th and final game in this series in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.